Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of BodyGeeks. I'm sitting here today feeling a little beat up from training last night. Had a really long day of work, and then Mason and myself decided to do some deadlifts. So anyways, today's video is going to be our workout from last night. It's a kind of a sample deadlift workout with some other back movements that you may or may not have done before, some things that you may want to try, as well as a little bit of an idea of how my training program is going to go into this next year, and maybe a little bit about what Mason's up to as well. So hope you enjoy. So what we did is we warmed up basically with the deadlift, since that was our first exercise, and you'll see Mason working up to some volume work, which even though he's pulling 600 pounds, he's not training too awfully heavy right now. Right here you see me, I'm pulling 555, and I'm working up to doing 3 sets of 5 reps with that weight. My goal is to have myself pulling 605 pounds for 5 reps fairly easily by the new year, which should give me a very good base to work from to chase down a PR sometime next spring in a deadlift only meet. Here's exactly what I was saying earlier, how Mason's doing some volume work, because you have 585 pounds on the bar, and he's going to do it for about 9 reps here. He thought he got 10, and we had a little debate at the end. He was upset because he probably has 10 in him. So this is heavy, but this is not heavy for Mason. He's more or less just continuing to work on his base and staying strong until he can really focus on strength progression again.
I think it was 9. Fuck.
Here's Mason pulling his heavy set for the day, which is 635 pounds or 640 pounds roughly if you include the clips. And he's still staying above 5 reps. So he's not working in the so-called powerlifting ranges. He's just continuing to maintain his strength until he starts his prep for whatever his next meet is. Next, we incorporated some pause work, which is something that I started doing recently as well, since I'm not necessarily training in powerlifting rep ranges. Mason's going to basically pull up to here, right about his knee, which is where his sticking point is, and he's going to pause for about a 1 to 2 second count, and then complete the lift and go back down. This is one variation of a pause. What you're basically doing is stopping the weight, using kind of an isometric contraction to hold it in place, and then firing the muscle again to complete the rep. It's another way of adding good strength and helping yourself break past that sticking point that you would usually have. Here we have a clip of Mason filming wrong with my phone, so you know, sorry for the bad quality here. We did shrugs after this and more or less just worked with light weights, since the deadlift already hit the trap pretty hard, and focus on a contraction. So this is more of a bodybuilding movement, but you know, for me anyways, to build bigger traps. But let's say as a power lifter, you can't go wrong with having a thicker neck and bigger traps. This movement here is called a Pendlay row, if we're doing them correctly. More or less, it's a barbell row that starts from the floor. So you don't want to bounce the weight off the floor, you want to let the weight come to a complete stop. Traditional barbell row, you're going to allow the muscle to stretch and you're holding the weight and then you row it again. This one is from a complete dead stop. Again, we have Mason filming with my phone vertical instead of horizontal, so you know, we'll let Mason share with us his powerlifting techniques, and I'll figure out the technology side of things. What I'm focusing on here is using my glutes to stabilize my lower back, trying to keep my back as flat as possible, letting the weight come to a complete stop at the bottom, and then rowing it up to about my sternum. I focus more on what's going on in, say, the mid-back here instead of my lower lats. So I have my elbows a little bit more flared and I'm pulling up a little higher than I would with a traditional barbell row. I need to bring up my mid-back from a bodybuilding perspective. So this is another variation of what's known as a rack chin, which is normally done within a power rack with your feet elevated on a bench press. So by using the straps here, we're more or less simulating some type of a pull-up, pull-over, row, you name it. You want to think of having your body as vertical as you would with a pull-up, but by pushing your feet forward, elevating them on a box, and then pulling up and using the straps to allow my wrists and my hands to have more of a free motion in there, I could focus on getting a strong contraction in my back versus on a traditional pull-up, depending on your range of motion, how limited or how well it may be, you may not be able to get as strong as a contraction in your back from a bodybuilding standpoint. So we're focusing here on trying to really work the lats, work the back, and using this style of training to keep the emphasis on the lats and on the back instead of just focusing on pulling our chin above a bar. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because we're going to have a lot more workout footage coming to you, which will be following myself into whichever meet I decide to do, as well as following Mason as he chases down that 2,000 pound total. Thanks for watching.